Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order, and we are on the final book in the Jedi Apprentice series, book number 18, The Threat Within. Now, this one takes place, it says it's been 4 years since Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon first went on their mission together. And as the timeline goes, it's kind of hard to fathom that because it doesn't feel like much time passes in between the books, and it doesn't feel like there was a big jump from book 17 to 18, at least for me. Either way, it has been probably 4 years since the series came out, so that's probably what Jude Watson was indicating. So if you've been following along for the past 4 years, it does feel that Obi-Wan could be a little bit older. And he is portrayed here as a, 17-year-old grown man. In fact, all through this adventure, Qui-Gon is thinking back on all the times he and Obi-Wan have had. So is Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan still remembers his mistake, 4 years ago with Melinda Dawn and everything. And of course, some of the other ventures, this is the final book, so they're reminiscing over everything as they go on their last mission. Again, they are breached by Jocasta Nu, which I knew was going to happen. Like I said, when I read book 17, I was like, oh yeah, she starts quitting. It's like a James Bond movie. She comes out and says, your mission, should you choose to accept it. No, the council went to them and said, would you like this mission? There's a planet. Of course, it's a war-torn planet. There are these, I think it's Vinyar or Vornar, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets all together. They're named Vornar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 4 is having a problem with 5. 5 is suddenly, 4 was the production capital of all 5 planets. They were the ones that were, industrial, highest in industry and, supplies and everything. They were kind of the rich planet, but now 5 is catching up with them. And so there's this kind of rivalry here, and there's been a lot of sabotage going on the planet 4. So they said it's planet 5 doing it. Planet 5 is like, we're not doing nothing. You guys are setting us up. So the Jedi are ordered to go investigate and kind of settle this peacefully. Qui-Gon, after they kind of get into the mission, they kind of discover that it's actually the kids from this world who are causing this disruption. See, all there is on this planet is work. In fact, their greeting is not goodbye, it's to work, because they love work. And when they're not at work, they're at home reading about work. So it's this culture that just loves work, and they don't have many emotions after that. In fact, the saddest thing ever is to be retired from work. And then there's like an old folks home where no one wants to go because that's a scary ending to your life because you're too old to work. What will you do with your life? And Obi-Wan infiltrates a younger group. It looks like they're humanoid just with antennas, so not very creative, alien-wise, but this way Obi-Wan can sneak in with his Jedi cloak over his head and pretend he's one of them without using makeup. I guess that was the whole purpose of it. So they think Obi-Wan is one of them, and they start taking him on all these adventures as they are sabotaging traffic lights or screwing up, a computer here and there, causing disruption in this very orderly planet. Well, Obi-Wan has a plan to kind of further infiltrate and kind of get their confidence and then bring them to the table to talk to the adults. Qui-Gon thinks that is not a good idea. It's kind of sneaky and underhanded, and if Obi-Wan is caught, then the whole thing will look very suspicious on both sides. Like, why did you know it was the kids the whole time and didn't tell us? And then Obi-Wan on his end, the youth could be like, wait, you were lying to us the whole time? So Obi-Wan does not see this happening, but Qui-Gon does not see this happening, but Obi-Wan is firm about this. Not mean, not disrespectful. He is just confident that this will work. Well, Qui-Gon goes, you know what? He's grown so much as a Jedi these past few years. Why don't I let him take lead on this mission? So he does, even though he disagrees with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's ready to prove him right. Obi-Wan does not. It's getting out of hand with the kids. They start planting bombs in places. And they think, well, we'll set them off at night. But then they decide to set them off in the day because it causes more disruption. But it also causes injuries. Well, now, relations between 4 and 5, because 5 didn't do anything after all, and 4 is the one who's like, we're going to go to war with these people because now they're killing our people. They don't realize it's their own youth. And Qui-Gon's like, hey, Obi-Wan, what you got? We need to bring these people to the table quick. War is escalating. But Obi-Wan is, now he's kind of bullheaded. He wants to go this way to prove he's right. He doesn't think Qui-Gon trusts him, but Qui-Gon reads his mind. He's like, Obi-Wan, it's not that I don't trust you. It's just that this situation is getting worse. So Obi-Wan gives him another shot. Qui-Gon gives him another shot. And Obi-Wan knows this, and he's thankful for this, but even he's saying, yeah, this is kind of getting out of control. It does get out of control. It turns out the kids knew all along. Obi-Wan wasn't one of them. They were just trying to hope the Jedi would go their way. But then he gets exposed. They hate him. He sees everything crumble around him because now they've planted a bomb in a big building where lots of people could die. but half of the kids are like, no, violence isn't the way, so they kind of turn on the other half, turn them in, and it's off to rush to save the building because Qui-Gon's in that building with some of the adults. Now, of course, they all get out in time, except for one, the kid who set off the bomb. He gets trapped underneath some of the rubble and dies. But he and his friend, who were, little vandals together, they had this disagreement on how violent they should be. They made peace at the end. They don't say what was said between them. He goes up to him and whispers to him, but Qui-Gon is impressed because Obi-Wan was the one that said something to the brother. And I like this. You don't get to hear what Obi-Wan says, and then the friend or whatever goes up to his other friend and they kind of hold hands, clasp antennae, kind of wrap around each other. That's a hug or something. And then the other one passes away. Obi-Wan also gives this speech between the adults and the kids when they start finding out it was the youth the whole time disrupting their planet. And Qui-Gon's proud of him there. It's like, look, when did Obi-Wan get so wise, is what he's saying. So he's seeing Obi-Wan to become this great Jedi Knight. They even practice later on. That's the cover of it. They're practicing lightsabers. And he's like, wow, I really am having a tough time keeping up with Obi-Wan. He's improved on everything. So we're getting to where Obi-Wan knows it's getting toward the end of his apprenticeship, and he will soon be a Jedi Knight. And Qui-Gon can't wait for that day. In fact, he can vision it. No, he can't vision himself and Obi-Wan working side by side as a Jedi. Why can't he envision that? That's weird. Well, we all know why. But the thing is, though, that's kind of neat. And if this was the last book, of course you did some special editions that kind of bring in Jedi Quest, but if this were the last book someone was reading in a series, you would not be disappointed. This has been an excellent series, and I've enjoyed every single book, really, just despite some minor plot points here and there, but I can't judge it too hard because this is a children's series, but an excellent one it is. All right, folks, onward to the next round of stories. I'll see you next time.